The recent decision by Sarah Ferguson to remove all references to her Duchess of York title from her social media profiles marks a significant inflection point within the British monarchy, echoing historical precedents of royal figures navigating altered public roles. This development follows her former husband, Prince Andrew's renunciation of his royal titles, a move that has reportedly plunged Ferguson into a profound state of emotional distress. The symbolic stripping of a title she has held for 4 decades appears to have profoundly destabilized her self-perception, her standing in the public eye, and potentially the very foundation of her family's unit. This situation bears a striking resemblance to the challenges faced by Wallis Simpson after Edward VIII's abdication, where a change in royal status dramatically reshaped personal identity and public perception. Sources intimately familiar with Ferguson's current state describe a scene of intense turmoil unfolding within the historic walls of Royal Lodge, the Windsor residence she continues to share with Prince Andrew. Insiders reveal that Ferguson completely unraveled upon receiving news of the decision concerning their titles, a moment reminiscent of the intense emotional strain experienced by royal consorts during periods of significant dynastic upheaval. She had reportedly implored Andrew to resist, but the unwavering resolve of King Charles made it unequivocally clear that the era of leniency, a characteristic often associated with past monarchs in dealing with family controversies, had definitively concluded. This culminated in what has been characterized as one of the most emotionally charged and explosive family confrontations in recent royal history. A private drama playing out against the backdrop of centuries of royal protocol and expectation. On a particularly pivotal Monday, Princess Beatrice arrived at Royal Lodge, her visible distress serving as a stark reflection of the gravity of the family crisis. The once grand York household reportedly resonated with fervent arguments, the sound of tears and profound disbelief, signifying a deep and painful fracture within the family unit. These echoes of discord are not entirely new to royal history. Similar scenes of familial strife have unfolded behind palace doors during various periods of succession or scandal. Reports further indicate that King Charles has expressed a firm intent to evict Ferguson from Royal Lodge, a development that could strip her of a significant symbol of her royal connection, a crucial source of income and a foundational element for her personal brand. This move, if executed, would sever one of her last tangible ties to the royal establishment, much like how various residences were historically reallocated following changes in royal favor. This potential eviction threatens to dismantle a world Ferguson meticulously constructed, leaving her adrift without the identity she had so fiercely clung to, an identity intricately woven into the fabric of the monarchy. A close friend characterized the unfolding events as chaotic, a term often used to describe periods of significant disruption within established systems. Prince Andrew, reportedly caught off guard by his brother's insistence, had agreed to the renunciation of his titles without consulting his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, who were reportedly stunned by the news. This unilateral decision mirrors instances in royal history where male heads of families made choices with far-reaching consequences for their dependents, often without their direct input. Eugenie, overwhelmed by distress, reportedly chose to abstain from the family meeting entirely, a poignant act of withdrawal in the face of overwhelming familial pressure. An insider conveyed to the Daily Mail that the summit was far from amicable, underscoring the growing rift within the family, a division that could have long-term implications for the stability of the broader royal household. The public sphere has also keenly observed the profound impact of these events, much as it has historically scrutinized the emotional states of royal figures during times of crisis. Princess Beatrice was later photographed departing Royal Lodge, appearing visibly shaken, her demeanor a public testament to the private turmoil. Just the day prior she had been seen at a playground with her daughters, engaged in a distressed phone conversation. A stark image of a royal navigating personal anguish in a public space. Reports suggest she confided in a friend about her inability to confront the Sunday newspapers, a sentiment echoing the historical burden placed on royals to maintain composure amidst intense media scrutiny. Witnesses described her as poleaxed by the fresh wave of accusations against her father, a term evoking the profound shock experienced when long-held certainties are shattered. While Sarah's past email scandal had already tarnished her reputation, new allegations concerning Prince Andrew's conduct have exacerbated the situation, despite his continued denials, adding another layer of complexity to an already fraught public image. The ongoing news cycle has brought to light emails from Prince Andrew, raising further questions about his behavior and his continued residence at the sprawling 30-room royal lodge amidst the swirling controversy. This scrutiny of royal finances and residences is a recurring theme throughout history, often surfacing during periods of public discontent or perceived impropriety. Questions have also surfaced regarding Andrew's financial arrangements, including his lack of rent payments and the mysterious source of a reported $8.5 million in 2005, a sum that has fueled public speculation. The Mail has reported that he did not receive a substantial inheritance from the Queen Mother, further deepening the mystery surrounding his financial independence. Such financial opacity within royal circles has historically led to public distrust and calls for greater accountability, echoing debates that have spanned centuries regarding the funding and privileges of the monarchy. Even the financial holdings of his daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, are now under intense scrutiny, a testament to the ripple effect of royal scandals. Royal officials are reportedly advocating for an ethics review of Beatrice and Eugenie's investments to ensure no connections to their father's controversial business associates. This situation presents a humiliating challenge for two women who, despite no wrongdoing on their part, find themselves ensnared in the shadow of their parents' scandals. Predicament reminiscent of historical instances where the children of disgraced nobles faced social and financial repercussions. Royal expert Ingrid Seward suggested to the Daily Mail that relinquishing their titles might offer Beatrice and Eugenie a viable path to safeguard their reputations, providing freedom from their parents and allowing them to forge their own distinct paths, much like how some lesser royals in the past chose to step away from the direct glare of the monarchy to pursue more private lives. However, such a decision would carry significant implications, fundamentally altering their identities and futures. The sisters were raised in an environment of unparalleled privilege and royal entitlement, witnessing their parents transform their royal status into a lucrative enterprise through various deals, endorsements, and paid media appearances. This commercialization of royal status, while seemingly modern, has historical parallels in how minor royals, or those on the periphery of the main line of success, sought to leverage their connections for financial gain. From an early age, their images were monetized, generating substantial sums, a practice that has evolved significantly with the advent of mass media. Over the years, they experienced the tangible financial benefits of their status, including lavish gifts, extravagant travels, and introductions to influential business figures, some of whom would later prove problematic, highlighting the inherent risks of mixing royal prestige with commercial ventures. Despite building successful careers independently, the repercussions of their parents' past indiscretions continue to linger, casting a long shadow over their professional endeavors. Beatrice, now a private equity analyst and CEO of her own firm, has cultivated strong connections in the Gulf states, attending major investment conferences in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi and Qatar, often engaging in private events with prominent royals and business leaders. Her company by EQ experienced significant growth in value last year, demonstrating her business acumen. Eugenie, an art gallery director, has also established a notable presence in the non-profit and business sectors, securing a contract for a significant project in the Gulf states and frequently participating in cultural and philanthropic events in the Middle East. Their global business dealings, while successful, highlight the delicate balance modern royals must strike between personal enterprise and institutional integrity. Both sisters have undeniably benefited from their royal lineage, with their status as princesses opening numerous doors and affording them access that would otherwise be unattainable. However, palace officials are now reportedly concerned that their global business dealings could become another vulnerability for the monarchy, which is already grappling with past scandals, much like how historical foreign entanglement of royal family members sometimes led to diplomatic crises. The palace is reportedly keen to avoid another crisis, demonstrating a clear desire to protect the institution's image and stability in an increasingly scrutinized world. This proactive stance reflects a modern understanding of public relations and risk management within the royal household, a far cry from the more insular approaches of previous centuries. Meanwhile, Sarah Ferguson, once a devoted mother, and loyal ex-wife, is reportedly witnessing the collapse of the life she meticulously constructed, and her ability to cope appears severely compromised. Friends describe her breakdown as complete, a poignant reflection of the emotional toll such public and personal upheaval can exact. Battling recent cancer, losing charitable patronagisa, significant blow to her public role, and now enduring the profound humiliation of her title loss, she is described as emotionally shattered. Her sister, Jane, has traveled from Australia to offer support, a testament to the enduring bonds of family in times of crisis. Close friends report that Ferguson is barely eating, rarely leaving Royal Lodge, and experiencing constant bouts of crying, painting a vivid picture of deep despair. This isolation and emotional distress are not uncommon among public figures facing intense scrutiny and personal loss, echoing the struggles of many historical figures who found themselves ostracized or diminished by shifts in power and public opinion. The loss of her Duchess of York title further underscores the perceived toxicity of the York brand within royal circles, a brand that has become synonymous with controversy rather than prestige. While King Charles is reportedly attempting to shield Beatrice and Eugenie from the direct consequences of their parents' actions, Ferguson herself is described as hysterical, panicked, and consumed by the fear of losing everything. Friends indicate she feels a profound sense of betrayal by Andrew for agreeing to the title renunciation without her consent, by the charities that withdrew their support after the email scandal, and by the royal institution that has now seemingly severed all remaining ties. This sense of abandonment is a recurring theme in the narratives of those who have fallen from royal favor, often leading to deep psychological distress. Her daughters, in turn, are striving to maintain stability in their own lives amidst the swirling turmoil. The royal court observes with apprehension whether they can navigate this challenging period without further damage to their reputations or the broader monarchy. Beatrice and Eugenie remain exceptionally close, bound by what insiders term their tripod bond, a testament to our shared experiences and mutual support. Yet both are privately devastated by the relentless waves of disgrace affecting their family name. Their husbands have reportedly advised them to maintain a low profile and distance themselves from Royal Lodge, fearing potential damage to their own reputations and professional standing, a pragmatic response to the contagious nature of scandal. Behind palace doors, King Charles is reportedly resolute, with no intention of reversing Andrew's decision. This firm stance reflects a monarch determined to modernize and safeguard the institution, even if it means making difficult family decisions, a stark contrast to some historical periods where family loyalty often trumped institutional integrity. The York family, once viewed as a unique and affectionate royal unit, is now widely perceived as a liability to the crown, a burden that threatens to undermine public trust and so meet port. As the emotional fallout from the family summit gradually subsides, Sarah Ferguson finds herself in a precarious and profoundly isolated position, grieving the loss of her title, her public respect, and potentially the cohesion of her family. For years she embraced the moniker the Phoenix, symbolizing her remarkable ability to overcome adversity and rise from the ashes of past scandals. However, this time the cumulative weight of her circumstances appears significantly heavier, threatening to extinguish her resilience. At 65, she confronts what many describe as her darkest hour, a period of profound, personal and public reckoning. The royal world that once embraced her, albeit sometimes reluctantly, now appears to have decisively turned away. The futures of her daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, remain uncertain as they navigate their own paths amidst the lingering shadow of their parents' controversies. As her public life continues to unravel, those closest to her fear she may finally succumb to the immense pressure. This is not merely another fleeting scandal. It represents the profound emotional collapse of a woman who once believed in her unwavering capacity to endure anything. After nearly 4 decades as the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson may be facing an irreversible turning point. The complete dissolution of her royal identity, the fragmentation of her family's unity, and the erosion of her grip on the life she so ardently fought to preserve.